And we are back. Consistency is key. I am Baron J67.
I'm T Jones. We just gonna keep it pushing.
We're gonna keep it pushing, man. We do what we can when we can, and we make it happen. Folks, you have to understand this is Adventures of the Black Nerds, and I am on the go. I am mobile. I'm away from my workstation, so I had to bring it with me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I sound any different than I normally do,
Just a little bit.
This is why.
Just a little bit.
I am on the go.
We'll be all right. But first, let's shout out Tone Deaf Network.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out everybody out.
Much love to the family.
Nerds Noir doing big things.
Bro, I totally forgot about that. That's
doing
terrible.
big. How you just gonna forget about your brand?
I know, my own brand.
Brand.
I have my own brand, folks. Nerds Noir.
Okay.
NERDZ NOIR. Nerds Noir. Gear by us.
Okay, so this was a conversation we should have had off stream or off the podcast. But now explain to the people what Nerds Noir means, because I had a guy ask me about it a couple of days ago, and I explained it to him as best as I could. And he seemed to catch it after about 20 minutes of talking to him about it.
Gotcha.
So explain to him, what does it mean?
Okay.
Now, and let me paint the picture. This was a younger white fellow. He was real cool. He was a gamer as well. He played a lot of sports games. So I'm trying to sell it to him. Now,
okay.
So explain it.
Well, for my people out there, this is basically the nerd brand gear for people who look like me and you. For people, whether it's black, brown, even I want my Caucasian folks to jump in on this, because it's just offering a different segue into apparel, mugs, and accessories. I'm not putting I'm white labeling now. So it's the brand is Nerds Noir. I want you to think, oh man, anytime there's any blurs out there, any nerds out there, I want you to feel comfortable showing everybody who you are on your apparel, whether it's a hat, backpack, t-shirt, keychain, sticker, pin, all of that. That's what it is. I want it to be a brand known. Now, the reason I went with Nerds Noir is because it's the most non-black way of saying black nerds.
Okay.
Noir means night, noir are black, it's the most appealing, it's the most what's the word I'm looking for? Open way of saying black nerds. Okay. I feel like Nerds Noir will go more and go further than labeling my brand black nerds or blurs. Yeah. Blurs only.
Because we do have that with the podcast. So
yeah. Adventures of Black Nerds is what we're here for.
I had to explain to this guy, because in conjunction of talking about Nerds Noir and talking about the podcast, I was explaining to him that yes, our podcast is called the Adventures of the Black Nerds because we're black nerds.
Yeah, that's what we are.
It's something we created. It wasn't this wasn't manufactured somewhere. It was just an idea. We sat down, we have these conversations, and we decided to record them. Now, how I was explaining Nerds Noir was this in the same way, because I remember the example. I watched you explain what Nerds Noir meant to a fellow, and you said for gear that for people that look like us, and he said like us. He said like us, like who, or something like it to that regards. And you said,
and then I looked at him and said,
exactly. No,
exactly. Oh yeah,
you said exactly. And how I took it, and that's how I was trying to explain to the dude, the young fellow. I really do forget his name, but like, hey, listen, it's nerd gear, and it can fit for anybody in this realm, this space, and that's how I was explaining it to him. So I just wanted to clear the confusion, and maybe.
There's very specific, like I do have gear that is clear as day for the black nerds or blurred community. I have, I got a design that says blurred life. Yeah. Like, it is there. I'm not trying to ignore the sole purpose of it. But at the end of the day, Nerds Noir, I want that to be a household name. Yeah. I I want you to, every time you go to a conference, I want all groups of people to be thinking about, oh man, what can I pick up? Oh, I can go pick up a Nerds Noir t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then the beauty of it is me going through Teespring to push my e-commerce, my brand. It gives me opportunity to have big and small, big and tall sizes. I mean, my t-shirts go up to 5X. I'm a big guy. Mm-hmm. So that was the very first thing I wanted to do when it came to putting out the brand. I wanted to make sure to have a wide spectrum, because you see a lot of cool stuff on the internet. But most of the times the biggest size is 2X and 3X on a good day. And the 3X fits more like an extra large.
Okay.
So, you know, I wanted to make sure, regardless of what logos and designs I put out there, I wanted to make sure to put my best foot forward for people who look like me, whether it's physically, whether it's physical. I want you to feel good wearing it. I want you a solid, comfortable t-shirt, hoodie, good material, and that's why I went the route I went.
Yeah, well, there you have it, folks. The true definition of Nerds Noir. Please go ahead and cop your merch.
Yes, it is all there. Everything from coffee mugs to hoodies.
Everything's in the description below. Now, we can officially start.
Yeah, we can officially jump in.
I wanted to start off by saying rest in peace to the late, great Nipsey Hussle.
Yes.
Tragic situation. But I just wanted to say that because I felt like we needed to. It was something that we just had
Real influential guy, man. Mm-hmm. Even especially outside of his music.
Exactly. So we'll start off by that. Now, what have you been playing? Okay. That was something we talked about as well.
Yeah. So lately I've been jumping on to the Division 2. One of the many games I said I was not going to buy.
Yeah, you caved.
I caved so hard. But the reason I was able to cave is it was a birthday gift. Somebody gave me a gift card and it was the right amount. And I was like, you know what? I'm not putting my own money into it. So I'm going to go ahead and buy it. And
isn't it funny how you could just how certain things makes it easier to justify doing stuff?
Bro, you know me, I'll rationalize just about anything.
He said, it wasn't my card number.
Yeah, it wasn't my card number, but it was still funds that were transferred to me that I decided to use onto the Division 2.
Live your best life.
Exactly. But one thing I will say is I do not regret it one bit. The Division 2, anytime I'm actually playing my game, I'm playing the Division 2. Okay. This is the first time not the first time. Well, in a shoot and loot type of universe, because we got plenty of those. We got Destiny, we got the Division, we got I can keep going on and on. Mm-hmm. Well, this is the first time where I feel they didn't get rid of the stuff that made it great. They just simply added to make it better.
Okay.
The environment, there's actual colors. It's not Fallout 3-ish, one color, one night. The environment. They
did mention that in the things, the developer streams on it. They did mention that.
And then the Dark Zone. I haven't been to the Dark Zone. I just hit level 11. You could go at level 10, but I was running with some guys and we were just running missions on, I'm trying to get as strong as possible.
Yeah.
But the game is legit hard in a good way. It's not frustrating hard, but there's plenty of times where I'm just walking on a way to a mission and I feel like I get in a mission and I'm getting my money's worth.
Okay.
So I'm thinking I'm doing a bunch of major missions. And these are either just side quests or control points that are popping up.
Yeah, you're going down the path of Baron Jonesism.
Yeah. Oh, you know me. I'm a loot. Bro, I loot like nobody.
I'm going fishing, guys.
Bro, for those who don't know, I have more than that. There's 2 games that I've sat and streamed where I was just fishing in the game. Like legit fishing. Warframe, yes, folks, Warframe, the 10-0 mech shooter. I have a stream where it was an easy hour of fishing, and people watched.
He said, "Bro, you want to do this mission? Nah, man, I'm gonna just go fish.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fish. I'm gonna go.
You know how upsetting that is. We playing games, killing aliens, trying to get gear, and he says, "Nah, I'm just gonna go fish.
I'm gonna just go. I gotta go rank up, collect this loot."
I said, "Boy, I'm mad.
Hey, that's just how I play, man. And see, the beauty of it all is I am getting dope loot drops. Oh, the loot system, that's probably the biggest highlight for me.
Yeah,
is the looting system. Okay. So here it is. Anything I'm using a majority of, that's what is dropping for me majority.
Oh, okay.
They'll throw in, of course, some random guns just to mix it up. But seriously, whatever is the most used, that's what I've been getting. Now, I don't know if I'm just a lucky son of a gun or if I'm guessing that's in-game mechanics because I bring it up to everybody I party up with.
Yeah.
And even the joining up system is pretty dang dope. Being able to just let people know, like, hey, I'm struggling, I need help. And you put up a signal and any and everybody can just jump in and help you out at any given time for the most part. Yeah. Haven't seen a moment where you couldn't. And that's actually how I've been running through the game because on a sad note, not too many people in my party, in my friends list are playing the game.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't looked at the numbers, but I have a pretty diverse group of friends. So to see it not be for it to be as new as it is and the type of game that it is, for it not to be a majority of the people playing, it's kind of disheartening. But one thing I will say is I've never had a hard time finding somebody to run with. Mm-hmm. And I've never felt alone.
And I'm gonna tell you one thing. I know they're gonna create, or if they haven't already, I'm pretty sure there's some website out there, some LFG group or something like that. I haven't been keeping up with it, but the one thing that kind of deterred me from getting it from the rip was the raids, the 8-man party raids and stuff like that. Are those in it now? I know you're not really a raider, but
yeah, I'm not a raider. If I'm not mistaken, and I could be absolutely butchering this, but I want to say the raid drops this month.
Okay.
If
and
not,
what they said.
I want to say like the 23rd for some reason.
Okay.
23rd, 25th is what's coming to my mind because I have seen something about that. Now, for a game that at this point, because let's be honest, for a game that's incomplete, because that's what it is. If the one component, the major component you offered as a selling point isn't there at day one, in my book, it's incomplete.
Yeah.
For an incomplete game, it is fun as fuck.
Yeah, these games are doing that because they're trying to keep this whole like live, like weekly, status game idea, World of Warcraft, type idea in play with, games that we play now because you have to play it, especially people like me who like are dedicated to this one game. The reset is tomorrow. I need to finish my milestones type deal. It forces people to jump on and play. And I
used to be in that same boat, man.
Yeah.
And that's something that they do as well. There's like bounty hunts. Yeah. There's and something that made me happy. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you good.
Going back to the loot drops, here it is. I haven't been to the dark zone yet, and I'm already getting purple or exotic weapons.
Yeah. And that was something that they made emphasis on, that you could just literally play the story and get in-game loot, which I thought was cool because not everybody, like you're talking about, a scarcity and playing with like your friends and playing this specific game. It's more difficult than people may think because it's only difficult for people who aren't variety streamers or variety gamers in a sense, because if all my friends play the same game, we're going to always play the same game together. Whereas if I got a whole bunch of people that play different games and I play different games, I can't expect people to buy every game that I buy because they may not be that interested as I am in it. So I can understand that.
And you know what? And that's also why I don't like recommending games to people. Because as much as I'm loving this game right now, I could put it down and never play it again and be just fine.
Yeah.
And that's just me personally. That's how I am with just about all my games. There's a few that I religiously go back to because it just truly grabbed me. Massive Chalice, Skyrim, Final Fantasy
listen, bro. So when you going? I mean, okay, this is gonna segue a little later. We'll talk about because the problem that I have is that I can't afford to keep up with this. I can't afford to keep up with my Xbox, with my PlayStation, with my PC. My head hurts. I got a notification the other day saying, "Hey, you haven't resubscribed for your Xbox Live. Would you like to input your credit card?" I'm like, "No, man, I got a headache, dog. I just bought some other stuff."
I'm telling you.
So, okay, so well, I was cool with the Division. I liked the way they pushed the game. I didn't like the fact that the game came out early for some, rather than that kind of was a little disheartening. But it was disheartening for a general sense, not for me specifically, because like people who played the game were behind, day one. But at the same time, it was put in a way where they easily could catch up. You didn't have to play, the PvP content, which I heard they have now. They have like a 4v4 like suppression squad.
I've seen that. Yeah. Now, of course, I'm not.
Yeah, and it looks fun. It's just more so in a game like that where every millimeter of a stat on your gear matters for something. I wonder how that plays in PvP.
Like, do you nerf it or do you let it run wild?
Yeah, or do you completely strip those perks from these weapons? You know what I'm saying?
And then at the same time, I'm so sorry I cut you off.
No, because I get you. Go ahead.
At the same time, you gotta make it different. Otherwise, I'd rather go play Gears of War.
Yeah, exactly. Cover shooter, that's exactly what it is.
I would rather go play Gears of War where that whole game is cover shoot and I don't have to grind for certain weapons and certain skills just to have them become null and void.
Yeah.
And, but one thing I hope and I actually look forward to trying out now that you brought that up is I don't want to be nerfed too hard. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to scale like leveling, okay, I can see that. I can see that. Like everybody gets a soft level of 20 as soon as you jump in to what's it called. But then that's where your numbers differ. Like,
because that's exactly what
crit this ad. I would love to see that.
Exactly what I'm talking about. Because I seen a guy, he got decked out in a full set of gear, right? Mm-hmm. Not of the all same piece, but he had like a stat bonus for submachine guns that in a sense gave him like almost 200% damage increase with a submachine gun. Now think about that. You go into this mode with that gun and that setup.
I'm Swiss cheesing people.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more so like, how does that work? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there like a level, like you said, bringing the level cap down or scaling it to where everybody's on the same playing field just for this activity? So like we're all at 200 health or we all are at 150 health, but do these stats work? Do these weapon perks work in the game that way? Because you can run rampant in there.
Well, let me tell you, because we're living in this game as a service world on console, things such as like WoW-ish. I want that. I want my stats, not necessarily like your level stats. Okay, you still got to make the playing field semi-decent.
Yeah.
Semi-decent. Doesn't have to be over the top. Well, think about with Destiny 2 and the Crucible. Mm-hmm. If a weapon has a certain perk, the perk is still going to kick in.
Yeah, of course.
Now, yes, your shields aren't going to be stronger than my shields unless it's a class thing. But for the most part, perks work. So I want my perks on my guns to still work. If my sniper rifle has a longer scope, I want it to have a longer scope. Yeah. If it has more increased thump, If it cheeses armor, I want it to cheese armor.
Yeah.
If the backpack I have gives me a boost to my technology, to my skills, I want my turret to shoot harder than yours.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that, and I know it at some point it can run rampant, but we already see worlds in games where that's a thing that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just get better.
Yeah.
Like Dark Souls, World of Warcraft, RuneScape. Like I can go on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, whoever has the better, because it ain't even the higher level either. Because I've jumped into World of Warcraft and got killed by a freshly level 10 guy.
Yeah.
Like
you gotta, the saying goes, you gotta have thumbs. Like if you don't have thumbs, you can have the best gun in the game, you're still gonna lose,
and you're still gonna.
And I do understand that. I think I'm more so leaning towards that because I like that idea. You're playing this power fantasy game to have power, so let me keep my power. I just think we'll see when comparing like these different perks. And then that takes time, obviously. And I always say with these looter shooters and these RPG games, most of the stuff you acquire isn't based off of skill; it's based off of time played. You play the game long enough, you're gonna get some good. Exactly. So you get a good gun with this stat, and then you find gear that boosts that stat. You just put the time in to acquire this. I seen a guy with like a machine gun loadout and everything powered his machine gun. Crit damage, elite damage. All of this stuff was a thing in the game, which I think is dope. I like that factor to be to where everything affects everything. And then it gets you that point to where you have to build now. So now you're not just deleting stuff just to delete it. You got to keep, because maybe you're going to use this one day, whatever. So.
And another thing that's a positive in the game is what you just brought up, the whole builds thing, but not only just builds, but weapons. I'm very discriminatory when it comes to weapons. And that's only because I go off of social norms or gaming norms.
Okay.
Like, I'm a mid to distant shooter, so I'm never going to pick up a submachine gun.
Yeah.
Like, unless it's a decked out, maxed out vector.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, that's just not how I play. It's going to be AK and, type of stuff.
Yeah, long range stuff.
Medium to long range. And preferably, I like semi-automatic weapons or 3-burst. That's just personal thing for me.
Damn. See, we would make the perfect team. Because I like short range, in your face type guns.
Yeah,
and stuff. And I'm cool with like running up and tapping the person, not killing them, they killing me, but then my teammate killing them and me getting the assist because it just makes it easier that way. In a sense, that's the term by that is called trading. So we win that trade in that regards, even though it's still a 1-for-1, but we still win the trading because it was easier for you to get the trade. But yeah, there we go. I mean.
Yeah, so knowing that,
side.
Right, rolling back into it, I accidentally used the automatic shotgun.
Oh, they got those in there,
bro. They got the barrel and everything, boy. When I tell you, I switched cheese the whole level, and the guy I was running with was like, "Bro, I feel like we're cheating. What gun is that?" It was the ATS-12, and I'm just running. Getting tight on people, boom, 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 just clearing the whole. I'm killing bosses. I'm running up on them, boom, 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 boom. But the reason I was not mad is I expect an automatic shotgun from that close
to do that
type of damage. Yeah. If it didn't, I would have been mad.
Yeah.
But then, so when I realized how much fun that was, because me, I'm down to struggle for the sake of fun. I was like, well, let's see what else we got. Because now I'm ready. I'm open now. I'm like, let's try what other weapons we got. Because it's either, what are the modified sniper rifles or what are they called? The marksman rifles. I'll use the mid-range marksman rifles. You know me, man.
Yeah.
But I'll also use the Uzi for the first time. Bro. when I tell you I'm Swiss cheesing bosses' armor, the dude I was running with was like, "What are you using?" I was like, "It's the Uzi."
The Uzi.
These are guns I just never used.
So remember how in Division 1, like the exotic version of those weapons had like a special name?
Ooh,
like what they call the Uzi, the Vert, like the Vert, like
right,
this is the Vert. That'd be dope,
bro. Man, so the game is fun. I'm finding a crap ton of content. I'm nowhere. I think all the hours I put in so far, I'm like 20% complete, and that's like overall. That I don't even think that's just like main story.
Yeah.
The guns there's a bunch of different guns, bunch of different stats, bunch of different builds. It's a lot for somebody like me to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm having fun. The enemies are out there working. They got aim out the wazoo.
So the AI is actually smart.
Man,
because Division 1
I'm like rolling, shooting, rolling.
Because there's a such thing as a super smart dumb AI. And remember in Division 1, that's how it was. Like, you telling me he could throw a grenade that far, but I can't launching grenades way across the map?
Only thing that's frustrating is how they shoot the gun versus how you shoot it and their aim.
Yeah.
Like, here it is. I'm professional marksman trained, and this is a street thug holding a giant, holding an AK-47 like a pistol sideways.
Shooting and running, hitting you in the head.
Yeah, he's walking and aiming and tagging me. Like, it's frustrating because how much you have to do to get that same level of aim. But the guns shoot honest. If I'm hitting you with a sniper rifle, even though it is a bullet sponge game, but if I'm hitting you with a sniper rifle in the face, it does the amount of damage in comparison that you would expect.
Okay.
And then, like, I came across a bulldog. I got my sidearm is a freaking bulldog, and I'm just boom, boom, boom. I was running around for a while with that, and only thing that stopped me from using it was the reload time.
Yeah.
But I'm having fun. Like, I wish I would have brought my Xbox because the TV in this room is dope. I'm not used to hotel rooms having TVs like that. This is vicious.
You've been playing it. I mean, I want to play it. I just was waiting for the raids and stuff. Me, I'm a raider. I didn't realize I was a raider until Destiny 1. But it's hard to find a consistent team. Like, if I had a consistent team of people...
And I'm not that guy.
Yeah. So, if I had a consistent team of people to play games that I play, or even in the realm, I'd be all right. But even, like, doing LFG groups, sometimes that can be frustrating because... Like, I'm cool with playing with people I know, making mistakes and laughing about it. But when I'm here just to get this shit done and you taking up my time...
And then you told me.
Bruh.
You told me you were good.
Listen, let me tell you a story before we go on. I was in this raid last week on Destiny, right? Destiny 2. And Destiny 2 has... There's a gang of API apps and websites that you can use... to, better yourself in the game or, transfer over items and et cetera, et cetera. Well, there's a website that shows you how many times a person has raided, how many, the fastest they've completed the raid. And it also shows them like their last 15 matches. If it was a completed or incomplete match. So I'm in this raid, right, with this dude, and we're playing, and or with this group that found me, and the last guy that jumps in, they say, "Hey, how many times have you beat the raid?" He was like, "Oh yeah, I beat it like 10 times." So I'm not even thinking about it.
10 times, like the number one lie on earth. Like, bro, somebody say, "I do it like 10 times."
Bro, when we started, we're playing, and he's dying. And I'm not even thinking about it. He's just dying, and I'm reviving him, or somebody revives him, and we beat the first part, like after 2 wipes. Then we beat the second part first time. Then the third part comes up, and it's like, no, I'm sorry, we beat the first part. We did not beat the second part. So we get to the second part, and the dude is just dying. he's not doing his role right, and I'm like, what is going on? So I was like, hey, bro, how many times you say you beat this? He goes, yeah, no, I beat it like 10 times, man. Like, I beat it. So I was like, fuck this. Let me check. Get on the website. Bring his name up. He ain't beat the damn raid one time. He ain't beat it at all. So he dies again, right? And the leader of the chat was like, hey, man, you keep dying and you're not doing the orb thing right. What's going on, man? He was like, I don't know. I was like, I know. He don't know what the fuck he doing. Excuse my language. So everybody started laughing. I was like, yeah, he ain't beat the raid. So the dude starts laughing. He was like, ah, ha, ha, ha. And he just thought it was funny. I'm like, man, I'm out, bro. I left. It was the worst. It just, that's so toxic. Just say you ain't beat it. If you ain't beat it, you ain't beat it. Somebody will show you. But
to put you in a simple, like me, whenever I would get picked up for a raid, it was they literally needed a body.
Yeah.
Like they were like, look, bro, just do your best not to die. We got this.
Just survive.
And I'm good at call outs. Yeah. Like if you tell me what's supposed to happen and you're like, hey, I need y'all to call out.
You're simple, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I can do that. I can make it happen.
You gotta do a raid, man.
No, let me tell you. No, I don't.
You got to.
No, because first and foremost, I for one don't care enough, and I feel bad about that.
Hell yeah, you should.
Because there's people on there who truly, truly care. And then when I do get invested and things start going well, we end up never finishing.
Bruh.
And I get so mad. Like, I don't know how many times on the very first one, what was it, Callus or whatever?
For Destiny 2.
Destiny 2, we've gotten to the tail end. I've got them down to almost like half.
Yeah.
And then somebody will just flop, and it won't even be me. So now I'm mad with everybody else. Like, who's this trash ass dude? Like, who's that?
Start
like,
throwing shit.
Like I'm a pro. I'm like, I'm holding my own. I know what I like. Oh my god.
Yeah, raids can be toxic, but I'm telling you, once you learn, and this is my thing, once you learn the mechanics of a raid, just stick to the mechanic. You know it. Don't try to change nothing. Don't try to use nothing new. We know what we're here for. We're not the type of people. We're not trying to speed run. We're not trying to break a record. We just want the gear. I just want the loot. That's it. I just want the guns and the loot. That's it. So I tell people that all the time. Even people in my old clan. I used to say, listen, why do we keep changing the way we do this? Stop changing it. Because now we're going to confuse everybody. Do it the way we've been doing it, and that's that. And the reason why I like raids so much is because it is that end game content. It is hard. So now you're playing it, and then with raids, like 6-man raids, everybody has a role. So whether your role is ad duty or your role is Oracle duty or whatever duty or boss control, what Call of Duty, you have a role and you just got to do your role. So I'm like and then raids is where hero moments happen. And I've had a few hero moments that I love to talk about, but yeah, man, you should definitely raid. Whether it's in the Division or Destiny, just raid one time and complete it. Like that is the feeling right there. I know for me, I stood tall. Like I was like, yeah, Atheon, sit down. Stupid. But that was life, man.
But overall, wrapping it up when it comes to the Division 2, I didn't think I would talk about it that long.
Yeah.
It's fun. I recommend it. Now, who knows how I feel about it next week. Big update came out and it didn't completely break the game, which made me happy. Because that's when it fell short on the first one. It was the first major update, and then the game went kaput.
That's just, that's the realm. The realm is updates every other week or every week, and it fixes something or it breaks something, and that's just life now.
Moving on. Now, talk to me about what Call of Duty, what's going on. Well, you brought up a conspiracy theory.
Yes, my conspiracy theory on why Activision over here firing people for no dang reason. And I believe it has something to do with Call of Duty franchising. Because Call of Duty is franchising next year, which should be they will start their own Call of Duty league based off of cities. And that's another point, too, that I didn't like. A lot of these organizations are going to have to change their names and come up with a specific name for their team. But it wasn't the city that built their team. It was the organization. Mm-hmm. So now your favorite teams won't be like it won't be FaZe Clan, the Call of Duty team for FaZe.
It's gonna be Dallas FaZe.
Yeah, FaZe Ohio Birds or some weird thing like that. And I don't really like that. So hopefully they can remedy that. But franchising next year for Call of Duty. Now, I'm not sure how much of you pay attention to the esports side of Call of Duty. I like it a lot. I find it very entertaining because these guys play insane. I'm talking about stuff that the regular human couldn't do. So, they're planning on franchising next year. You're reading an article that was saying that they potentially could be selling these spots for $25 million a spot.
American.
So, that's a lot of money. And I believe...
Actually, I don't think it is.
I think so for Call of Duty. For Call of Duty, it is. Call of Duty hasn't been the same game it's been since Black Ops 2. True. I think Black Ops 2 was like the glory days of Call of Duty esports. Ever since then, it's just been on a slow decline with some sporadic nosedives with certain titles. So $25 million for a spot, I believe that's a lot. And then we don't know what they're offering, what they're telling people, what the requirements for these teams. So we don't know. We know that. Oh, go ahead.
Let me tell you why I feel this won't be a problem at all and why that's going to be cheap. Because for the same way 2K continuously sells, Call of Duty is one of those staple gaming in the household every holiday season.
You're right.
So knowing that hell or sucky game, this game is going to sell it's going to go gold. It's gonna, you know what I mean? Like all these things are going to happen regardless of reviews, regardless of which
I think so
version.
Too.
And knowing that 25 million, but you know why? Okay, so looking from your angle, yes, that's a lot. FaZe Clan, who knows if all these big industry companies really have 25 to drop on a Call of Duty franchise team.
Yeah.
But guess who does? Your Shaqs, your Rick Foxes, so this is, I personally think, just from the little bit I read about it, because today is my first time really hearing about this.
Yeah.
This is opening up to make it more mainstream. This ain't for the community. This is for the at large.
Yeah. Now okay, so
because that's cheap to a Rick Fox. To
a
Shaq,
and I don't
teams.
Okay, so now with you saying that, Call of Duty won't last if the big name teams don't make it into the league. I think the big name teams have the money for these spots. So your Optic Games, your FaZe Clans, your Team Envious, they got the money for it. I'm not worried about that. Say if it was outrageous and they didn't have it, if Optic Gaming leaves the Call of Duty scene, Call of Duty dies. And I say that with the utmost confidence in the world because, to be honest, they're the reason why. Like, if you just pay attention to streams, when Optic Gaming is playing, that's when they hit the peak of viewership. When they're not playing, they don't get that same viewership until the championship match. So, and that is consistently, even when they lose consistently, that's what happens. So, yeah, you're right. These teams do have these other organizations and these other, big name players have the money for it. But if these teams don't make it in the league, Call of Duty is dead. But I more so am talking about viewership, about the glory days of Call of Duty. Call of Duty was once at the top, up there with your CSGOs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's not there anymore. It's not there unless there's an event going on. And even when there's an event going on, game, your Fortnites and your Apex Legends still beat it out in viewership. So that's still a thing to think about. Also, with Call of Duty not having that's not being at the point where it should be, I believe. Who knows what the viewership is going to be like on a weekly basis, franchise matching.
Sure.
Think about Overwatch. Overwatch, that's when they see their most viewerships, you know, but they blow the numbers for the Call of Duty World League out of this world. So we got to think about that too. Now you have to pay for production. Now you got to pay for this. You got to pay for that. This is on a weekly basis thing now. Now these teams, are they flying out to different places every week?
Now let's flip it. We already know the level of sponsorship that Call of Duty brings with it. Mm-hmm. Whether it's different candy companies, whether it's Monster, whether it's different sodas. Because I know every time a Call of Duty comes out, every time I go to a gas station, all of a sudden I'm seeing the Call of Duty logo on top of everything from Dr. Pepper to Monster to Butterfinger. Yeah. Like, you know, I'm being dramatic with the Butterfinger, but it just trying to make
these Butterfingers.
So, right. But so knowing, I think the reason Call of Duty, another reason I think this is going to blow up and do great is because how many people, I think it'd be easier to count how many people don't have Call of Duty in their house.
Oh yeah. No, that I agree with that, but it's
a big enough mainstream acceptable name.
That point is made from the casual everyday player. Sure. My point is the money that they have to put into the esports side of it, because now you put the money into creating these franchise. You think about it. They had to change the layout of the game. Call of Duty went from a 6v6 to a 5v5. Why? Because competitive went to 5v5. So the game is going, either they're going to have to create 2 games a year, one for competitive, one for the casual at-home player, and make money both ways, or they're going to have to create it and have that healthy medium where these teams can still play the game that they love, but they still get the competitive side to it. I don't think Call of Duty is going to ever drop off like that. Just like how you brought up Madden and all of that stuff. I think they will still reign their supreme spot when it comes to that. I just think it's going to be, with the esports side of it, I'm not too much sold on it because of the fact that, first of all, it's your first time in it. Second of all, you're not doing the numbers that you used to do. You watch people bash the game more than they play the game, but they still play the game. So that is, that's that. With the competitive side, though, it's more money that they gonna have to put up front. Remember, they have the prize pool. The prize pool ain't these local events anymore. They're not UMG. They're not MLG, which MLG I think is a part of CWL, but they're not these Gfinity.
Major League Gaming and break down CWL.
The Call of Duty World League.
Okay, for those who don't know.
So they're not those anymore because that's how these players were making money. They were paying to register into a tournament, playing for these big name company I guess you could say big name companies that were holding said tournament, and that the prize pool was put up by them. Call of Duty's gonna have to put up the prize pool. The prize pool is going now, and which they've kind of been preparing for. These players are being paid salaries. Mm-hmm. They can't. They're going to have to abide by Call of Duty's rules, some sort way, whether it's being able to stream. Because I don't know if you knew this, but they couldn't even stream. The players couldn't stream anything when the Call of Duty if you were in the league, you couldn't stream while the league was playing.
Because you would take away from viewership.
Exactly. So they were like, you can't do it.
You had to sign a contract.
So now you taking money out their mouth now. So now these people who are building brands on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, they can't do it now because you say, hey, listen, you're in the league, so you can't do that. So they can't, and which Call of Duty, which was cool, they came to a medium and said, listen, y'all can stream the matches, and y'all can stream now. Y'all can even stream the matches. So it was a huge difference. Even when I was watching Dr. Disrespect stream, and the Call of Duty World League was going on, and he was beating the World League out in viewerships. So it's just not there yet. They need to get back. They need to figure out a way to get back to have a healthy medium of both casual play and competitive play, because now the game is going to be so competitive. It's going to be like CSGO, where it's going to be all competitive, and if you play the game, you're a competitive player, and that's that. There is going to be no casual lobby anymore. No one's going to want to play with those rule sets anymore. But my main point... Oh, go ahead. Were you about to say something?
Well, you know what, bro? Hearing what you're saying, and I'm only saying this because I just came back from a conference not that long, this past weekend.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're talking from a finite perspective, as in which, for the most part, it is true. There's only so many people watching so many things.
Yeah.
That's a fact. But in terms of internet space and growth and opportunity, even if this wasn't Call of Duty, you could put any name, any game in front of that franchise spots going for whatever million. There's a space for that. I just found out there's a whole league of people racing drones that's getting ready to go to this level.
Yeah.
Hell,
we can talk about people playing tag. People play competitive tag.
Yes. So people watch people CrossFit competitions.
Yeah.
Like, so knowing all of these other things exist, I love that you're coming from a place of passion. And you truly know this, and you're coming from the inside.
Yeah, you could say that.
I'm looking at it from, shit, that sounds dope.
And I think, okay, so I guess I came off wrong then, because I think it's dope, and I'm not saying that it can't work. I just, when you come from that, or like I'm pretty sure we all played Call of Duty. We all understand Call of Duty, the concept of it being an arena shooter, and these certain guns do this, and being able to shoot, hit registration, all of that. We all understand that. Mm-hmm. I don't think that the game won't. I don't think the game won't succeed. I think it will succeed. My point is that, with it being so upfront now, I think it should have been, this Call of Duty should have been one of the first games to franchise and do all of this stuff. So with it taking steps back, and then now it's trying to take 17 jumps forward all at once, it's hard to say. Oh yeah, I 100% rock with this idea, working now. I just think that I think it's going to work at some point. It's going to fit. It's going to mesh. It's going to come together. And then it's Activision. It's not it's not your everyday, developer or publisher. It's Activision. It gotta work. Now this comes full circle back to my point. Why Activision released 8% of their workforce was because of that. Because all this money that they about to drop out into these franchising spots and all of this stuff, they gonna have to figure this out. I think taking in the money that they're going to be selling for these franchising spots, they need to figure out, okay, cool, how much money we gonna make? This is my conspiracy theory. I could be wrong. This isn't fact. This isn't actual factual. But with them taking the risk that they're taking with making franchise spots, because the field works now. It works now how it's set up, and it works just fine. Going into franchise spots, you're going to have to figure out, okay, are we going to build an arena? Are we going to keep using Ohio's arena? We're going to have to think about taxes for these players. We're going to think about, okay, are we going to go with the League of Legends side of everything, where these teams are going to have a budget and they can't go over this budget, just like with any other sport that you're thinking about. Sports, yeah. So now it's just, these are the plans. These are the things that you're going to have to, it's a lot of money moving all over the place. So that's why I believe that they had to, I don't think they had to. I think they made the move to release those. Yeah, exactly. So they can, make as much money as possible. So
And that's always something that throws
even
me off.
with the success of Apex Legends. That was the weird part. A free to play game with all of this success, it's almost up there with Fortnite, and they still said we got to drop bang.
Yeah, it's always weird that when I hear situations like that, I'm like, damn business.
It's cutthroat.
It's very cutthroat, and I really wonder when it comes to games. When it comes to these type of games, is this just the new way? And for the most part, it probably will be. Yeah. Because you got to think, like you said, you made a solid point. Call of Duty should have been the first to do this, not the last or not middle and third. Like, there's no way they should have been to this point. I'm actually shocked. Certain games like World of Warcraft, they don't need to. But I'm shocked they never had any type of divisional leagues or nothing like. I mean, you don't need it, but that'd have been dope to watch some.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I'm hip to the fact that the gaming space, like the whole entity, not the many communities within the gaming space, the gaming space is at the point now where we got franchise teams. Legit, people are. Oh, go ahead.
Excuse me. I went to WonderCon and people are walking around with their Valiant shirts on.
Right.
Like it's real out here. Like any given moment you go in somewhere, you can catch somebody in a Valiant. And I forgot what San Francisco's team is called. The orange one.
You got people walking around in Optic jerseys and
jerseys. This is real.
And
then all the local colleges having their gaming leagues.
That's even dope too. So it's you more so you get to thinking about how the ceiling for this is so high that all they have to do is just keep up with it, because people are going to play your games. These games are going to be played, and people will it's always competition at some point. Some kid is always telling another kid, I'm better than you, and some kid is always getting wrecked in a 1v1. Somebody's always telling somebody, "Hey man, you should play professionally. You should, hey, come play GBs with me." So many videos I've watched so many videos and so many interviews of like professional players, and they always say, in specifically Call of Duty players, they always say the same thing. Oh, I just started playing pubs, and then I was dropping 100 kills in a match, and somebody was like, "Hey, let's just want to play some GBs." There's always some random person that's still not in the league saying, "Hey, let's play some GBs." And you play GBs, and then you're stomping kids, and you're winning these online tournaments, making this money, and then finally you just get picked up by a team. Anybody can do it. If you put the time into it, anybody can do it. So I'm proud and happy for the space. I can't wait for it to see where it becomes. I hope that I get to see like it to a point where it's on TV as a consistent thing. You see what I'm saying? Like where now you have to hire casters for specifically gaming. You see what I'm saying? Now you have to do stats and stuff for gaming. You know how dope that's going to be? And that's only amazing to me because I'm a gamer. I like video games. Yeah. You know, so
did I ever tell you I shoutcasted a Fortnite tournament?
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
that was absolute bonkers. I did not know how hard it was to sit and talk for 2 hours.
I was listening to a caster talk about like how he's able to cast Call of Duty, and he in his stream what he did was he practiced in his stream, so he would watch other people's and then practice, but he put just the amount of money, the same amount of time as professional players playing the game. He puts that same amount of time playing the game as well, because now he needs to learn the spots. He needs to learn the call outs. He needs to be just like football. If you've never played football, but you probably watch as much football as somebody played to be able to break down a play, call out a certain situation, be able to understand what's happening. Same difference here, or it's the same situation here. You literally play the game just as much as they play the game. You understand the call outs, you understand the map awareness, you understand a flank, you understand what's going on, and you're able to actually just say it now. So, you better go play a gang of Fortnite.
Hey, no, and let me tell you, and that's what was the hardest part before we roll into this last segment. That was the hardest part, was not because I don't know the weapons.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the certain grenades and tools and accessories do. Because I don't know the map. Mm-hmm. I was winging the hell out of it. Whatever I was saying, it was entertaining.
Yeah.
And then thank God, I don't know how many people are in the earpieces, but I had somebody shooting me private messages watching other matches and updating me like so-and-so got a kill, so-and-so's knocked,
okay,
so-and-so. Like, it was intense. I was like, oh. So I'm sitting here trying to look at the camera, but I'm really getting feeded information like crazy.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the heck I'm talking about, but I know
where's Dusty Lodge. I don't know where Dusty Lodge is at.
Bro, it was honestly, it gave me a lot of respect for casters, period.
Yeah.
Because you either got to have a deep passion for it or you got to be the best BSer on earth. Mm-hmm. Like, it's there's no way around it.
Some of them are great. Some of them are real great. I think since they've been doing like the esports game awards or whatever it's called, I think it's just called the game awards. I'm not 100% sure. They been the first guy to win it, like caster of the year. His name was like Courage or something like that. And he recently joined Optic, but then he got so big and so fast on YouTube or Twitch that he had to leave the brand of Optic because of conflict of interest with sponsorships. So I bring him up because he won caster of the year. Like, that is a thing. That is a full-on reward. That goes on your resume. Yeah. I won caster of the year. He was even casting Fortnite tournaments because that's the game he was playing. The other guy that won it, I believe his name was... I forget his name. But he was a cool, funny cat. And he won it, and the dude was just dope. I mean, look at Dr. Disrespect. Dr. Disrespect won Streamer of the Year. Mm-hmm. And his that's why he goes by the name Two Time, because he won it twice. So it's just amazing. All in all, gaming, the space of gaming now is in a dope spot, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. You know what I'm saying? This is just the beginning of it. So damn, it looked like we hit our limit. We
hit our stride, bro. Now, real quick, jump into the grain of salt moment. Take this with a big grain of salt, but we came across some leaked information
on how potentially Destiny leaked that PS4 and the new PS5 and the new Xbox. I think it's what is it? Project X or Project Scarlet is supposed to be released in 2020.
Now, was it Destiny who released this?
Destiny is the leak source he's a part of the Destiny community. His name is Ananon of the Nine. He's a leaker. He just leaks stuff. Now, he's been credible in the past, and he leaked some information on the new Destiny. Now, okay, so this is how I came to that conclusion, that potentially he leaked when PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox was coming out. He reported that the new Destiny 3 is supposed to come out 2020 alongside with the new consoles. Now, like I said, with this dude being and then he did go dark, and somebody did take over the posting that he was doing. I won't go too much into that, but the information still stems from him. Since he's reporting that, it's a credible source because he's the one that told us that that Destiny 2 was going to get the Thorn back. That Destiny 2 was also getting the Hawk Moon back. That Destiny 2...
These are guns.
Man, yeah. These are guns inside the game. And he also reported on a lot of other things that came to be true within the Destiny community. So if he's saying that Destiny 3 is supposed to come out 2020 alongside the new consoles will be here next year. So are we prepared for that? Are you prepared for the new consoles?
It's time. For one, it is time. It's been that time frame, and then there's been a bunch of big games. And we're branching way over our time. But there's been a bunch of big games such as Starfield, such as like I even thought Days Gone was going to get pushed back.
They might as well. If this is the case, they might as well.
I hope not, because it's supposed to come out in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But I do understand. I'm excited.
I am too.
I don't know if I'll be day one. If I get my business stuff in order, and it's
shout out Nerds Noir, and the link is in the description below.
Yeah, Nerds Noir or its parent company may be buying the new console.
Ooh, tax write-off.
But yeah, that's talking too much shit.
Shameless plugs here, people. Shameless plugs.
Nerds Noir, parent company in the works. But yeah, man, I'm Baron J67, bro.
I'm T Jones, and man,
shout out to everybody who's been supportive of Nerds Noir. Shout out to everybody who's been supportive of us, those listening, those following us through Tone Deaf Network, and shout out to Tone Deaf and the family. Really appreciate what they do, blasting us out into the ether across the universe. And yeah, that's all I got to say. That's all.
Gonna do it, man. Peace out.
Peace.